Today we will dive into a fascinating and mysterious list. The 10 people who claim to have traveled through time. 10. John Titor. On November 2, 2000, John Titor posted a message on an internet forum claiming to be a time traveler from 2036. Titor claimed that he traveled as far back as 1975 to get an IBM 5100 computer, and only stopped in 2000 on what he called personal reasons. To prove he was a real time traveler, Titor added photos of his time machine and said it was made by General Electric. Titor said that a civil war began in the United States in 2004 and evolved into a nuclear war with Russia, leaving millions of people dead. In addition to the warning of a civil war, Titor predicted that there would be no Olympics in 2004 and that the West would collapse in 2005. Titor offered to take some people into the future, but just like his predictions, this never happened because he suddenly disappeared in March 2001. However, some believe that Titor is real and must have avoided civil war by indirectly warning the US government when he went down in 2000. Moreover, Titor has already said that by traveling into the past, he had created a world line and altered history. 9. Andrew Basiago. Not only does he claim to have traveled to the future, but he also says he went to the past and to Mars. Basiago says the project, which was codenamed Pegasus, was active between 1968 and 1972, and led to the creation of a real-time machine. Basiago says he used the machine to travel to the year 1863, where he heard one of Abraham Lincoln's speeches, and the year 2054. He added that the US government often used the machine to deploy military units to alter the past and future while deemed suitable. Unlike other time travelers, Basiago failed to give us any predictions about the future, except that he will become president between 2016 and 2028. Bryant Johnson. In 2017, police officers in Casper, Wyoming were called to deal with a drunk man wandering the streets. The man turned out to be Bryant Johnson, who claimed to be a time traveler from 2048. Johnson claimed to have traveled to 2017 to warn of an alien invasion that was supposed to happen in 2018. He said he originally intended to travel to 2018 but arrived a year early because the aliens got him drunk. He also asked to speak to the town president to warn him of the impending invasion. Johnson's time travel request was clearly an excuse to avoid a public charge of drunkenness. The officers did not fall for it and promptly arrested him. 7. Noah. Noah claims to be from the year 2030. In a video posted on YouTube, he claimed that artificial intelligence had taken over. Bitcoin was an acceptable currency, and climate change had warmed North America and cooled Europe. He added that electric cars were more reliable and that humans were already traveling to Mars and had found cures for some cancers. 6. William Taylor. William Taylor claimed to have traveled from 2005 to 3000 and finally back to the present. He said he worked for the British Intelligence Agency and was sent into the future as part of a time travel experiment in which the agency had been working since 1981. He first traveled to the year 3000, when humans no longer walked the Earth, but instead moved in flying vehicles. He later traveled to the year 8973, where disease, death, war, and crime are non-existent. All humans are tall and thin with large heads and eyes and live peacefully with robots and cyborgs. Taylor suggested that time travel seemed to be normal in the future, since no one was surprised when he mentioned that he was a time traveler. In fact, he claimed to have met another time traveler since 2055. He added that other governments also have their own time travel plans, but they all keep them under review. However, the British government will present its own to the world in 2028. 5. Bella. Bella is an Albanian lady who claimed to have traveled to the year 3800. She also added evidence, a selfie she supposedly took in the future. Bella claimed that she was able to go into the future with the help of a Belarusian physicist named Alexander Kozlov. She says the process of time travel is not as good as we think. Everything went black during the trip, and whatever she used to travel into the future passed through her body at a very high voltage. Bella also stated that the future was not beautiful. Everything we know has been completely destroyed, with robots ruling over humans. Everywhere she looked, she saw rubble, robots, and dead people. Many people criticized Bella's claims on several irregularities. She said she took several photos, so she should have provided more photos as evidence instead of just one. Even the photo she showed was questionable, although there were futuristic-looking buildings in the background. 4. Unidentified man. An unnamed man from Siberia said he traveled to the 4040s. The man claimed to have worked in a physics laboratory, where he and another scientist collaborated to build a time machine. He tested the machine and found himself in the year 4040, when half the world's population had died while robots ruled. The man added that the groundwork for humanity's destruction was laid in 2458, when humans contacted some aliens from another galaxy. The aliens lived longer than humans, between 400 and 450 years on average. But they had just emerged from a disastrous war that left only 200,000 survivors. They migrated to Earth in 2460. Håkan Nordqvist. Håkan Nordqvist is a Swedish man who claimed to have traveled to the year 2042. Unlike the other time travelers we mentioned, Håkan did not use a time machine and only reached the future by accident. Håkan says it all happened on August 30th, 2006, when he entered his kitchen to find the sink leaking. He opened the cabinet under the sink to fix the leak but could not find it. He reached the cabinet, only to find himself in the year 2042. Håkan claimed to have met the 72-year-old version of himself in the future. The two of them also had the same tattoo. To confirm that the 72-year-old man was really him, Håkan asked him some personal questions and he answered them correctly. To make it believable, Håkan provided a short video of his encounter with the 72-year-old version of himself. 2. Andrew Carlson. Andrew Carlson had successfully traded 126 high-risk stocks, turning an $800 investment into over $350 million in just 2 weeks. During a financial crisis in which other investors were losing money, there was only one way that would have been possible: insider trading. Carlson denied participation in insider trading. He reportedly claimed to be a time traveler from the year 2256, but teleported back to 2003 to trade stocks. He said that everyone in the future was aware of the 2003 stock market failure, and that he returned only to see if he could make some money in return. Carlson was allegedly charged but mysteriously disappeared before appearing in court. No one has heard from him since. Perhaps he has returned to the future. Or perhaps, as many believe, the whole story was a hoax. 1. Michael Phillips. Michael Phillips claims to belong to the year 2070 and to have returned in 223 to avert a war that will be fought in 225. This conflict, which will become World War III, will be so deadly that World Wars I and II will seem like child's play. Phillips says his mission is to stop the war before it starts. The basis of the war will come later this year, when North Korea attempts to launch a nuclear weapon at the United States. The United States will respond with 2 cruise missiles, and the war will quickly evolve into a nuclear conflict involving several enemy nations trying to kill each other to extinction. Phillips also gave us some information about the 9/11 attack. He says it was caused by another time traveler we have already mentioned, John Titor. Titor traveled to 2000 to prepare plans for the 9/11 attacks. The idea was to create an event that would unify the United States and prevent that civil war that was supposed to happen in 2004.